spotlight focused on Utah and a hot week of competition in the USA here in Salt Lake City. Sharpshooters came from across the globe to toil in the scorching desert sun, all concentrating on each and every arrow, trying not to look ahead to the next match, the next opponent. But deep down inside, all harbored hopes of making it to a medal match and dreamed of taking their place on the podium here at Stage 3 of the 2017 Hyundai Archery World Cup Tour. Oh, it feels just like yesterday. The outdoor season opened amidst the towering skyscrapers of Shanghai, and now World Archery's best are shooting in the shadow of the towering Rocky Mountains. Whatever time it may be, wherever you may be in this world watching, ni hao, hola, bonjour, merhaba, konnichiwa, guten tag, annyeonghaseyo, privyet, shalom, dzień dobry, buongiorno, good day, mates. And welcome to this third stop on Hyundai's 2017 Outdoor World Cup Tour, stretching from east to west, spring through the summer and into the fall, leading up to the World Cup Finals in Rome. Along with Coach Andrea Gales from the United Kingdom, I'm Carl Archey, and we're thanking you for joining us for the first Outdoor World Cup event in Utah and the United States since 2012. Good to be back in Utah. It's good to be back with Andrea Gales. Good to have you, Andrea.
Good afternoon, Carl.
Welcome to the heat of Utah.
It certainly is. It's been brutal this week.
It was toasty, wasn't it?
Very toasty.
So the elements obviously are a factor, and we'll talk about those. But first, let's look at the lineup for today. We've got the mixed team bronze and gold medal matches, followed by the women's bronze and gold medal finals, and then the men's bronze and gold medal finals. And those are the approximate times. We'll have to see. We may have a shootout or two in there.
I think we will. The conditions are almost perfect, and these competitors are absolutely spot on form at the moment.
Right now, let's take a look at the compound mixed teams and the step-ladder format this week that led us to where we are this afternoon, getting set for the bronze and the gold medal matches. Italy and Korea getting to the bronze, and Mexico and Colombia, we'll see them in the final of this mixed team competition, which is just about set to get underway here at the Easton Archery Center as we get set for the mixed team bronze medal match. And we'll set the stage for you there. In our first match of the day, it will be Italy. First out, and we'll meet the contestants for Team Italy.
Competing for the bronze medal in the mixed team category, the team of Italy,
Irina Francini and Federico Pagnoni on the line for Italy today. In the quarterfinals, they were able to defeat Denmark 155 to 148, and then in the semifinals, lost in a shoot-off to Mexico. Both teams shooting 19, but obviously Mexico with the better 19. They'll be up against it today, taking on the team from Korea. Korea knocking off India 154 to 147 in the quarterfinals. Then in the semifinals, it was a close one. Colombia coming out on top of Korea by 2 points, 154 to 152. So let's meet the duo for Korea. The female archers, So Chae-won and Kim Jung-ho teaming up here today. Both of those archers won gold medals this morning, Andrea.
Yes, they did. And obviously, Pagnoni from Italy was out there this morning with the Italian team, taking home silver.
So even more hardware on the line right now as we get set for the bronze medal match. And the teams get set to shoot. And what is not quite as hot weather conditions as we've had earlier this week, but warm nonetheless. The bigger factor, though, Andrea, and we've talked about it already, it's that wind downrange.
Yep. So all week it's been coming from the left, slightly diagonal, picking up throughout the day. Not so bad today, I don't feel.
about to get underway right now.
So Korea will shoot first, and this is So Chae-won. 19 years of age, ranked 72nd in the world. Starts off strong.
Very strong. Another factor is that we're in front of the Eastern Foundation building here, and when the arrows leave the building, there is a possibility that they're going to get buffeted a little.
There's about 20 meters more, at least 15 to 20 meters once they get past the building. They're out in the open and they're subject to the winds.
Korea definitely dialed in from this morning.
Yeah, they took notes. Irina Francini did not shoot this morning, so this will be her first time on the line today.
It's a good first arrow. Obviously, she'll have had some help from her mixed team partner who was out there this morning, so he'd have been able to talk to her over the lunch period and advise her on what she should do with her sight from the practice field to here.
And Federico picks up where he left off. His final shot in the team match this morning was a 10. And he starts off with a 10 here this afternoon. So right away, Korea takes a 1-point advantage. Although that could disappear.
It's very uncharacteristic 8 from the Korean.
We did see some interesting matches this morning. Teams that fell behind early and were able to rally and come back.
Yeah, it was all of the matches were closely fought this morning. And there's a 10. So 38 points for the first end for the Koreans.
The 10 picking up the 8. And now Irina Francini. So a pair of 9s for Irina.
Yeah, she just needs to make a little sight adjustment there.
And a 10. And we're tied. See, just like that. That's all it takes.
It's easy.
It's easy.
When you sat here.
Yeah. It's very easy sitting back here.
Definitely.
Yes, in our World Archery lounge chairs.
Not quite.
Not quite. No.
More like a sauna.
Oh, these archers out on the line, though. Dealing with the heat and dealing with the wind. But that's part of the outdoor season, shooting outdoors. It was hot in Turkey 2 weeks ago in Antalya. They tell me it was a little bit warm over in Shanghai.
Yeah, I think it was. I think the beginning of this week was probably the hottest. We were 40 degrees and also shooting on AstroTurf. So the heat was coming up as well as sort of down at you, which, especially for the archers in the afternoon, which the compound archers shot, was uncomfortable at times.
You know, and you look at the number of matches they shoot to get to this point, the number of arrows that they shoot, it does take a lot of stamina. It takes a lot of endurance.
Yeah, and these guys, for the mixed team, they actually had to do their qualification round first, and then the mixed team was in the evening. So they were on the field of play a long time.
It can take its toll, but of course, these kids are young.
Yeah,
They can handle it. They can handle it. So tied up at 38 all after the first end. And there will be 4 ends. Each team shooting 4 times in each end, a total of 16 arrows. Top score takes the medal. So Che-Wan.
Back in the 10 ring after the 8 of the last arrow. Koreans have actually come on leaps and bounds in compound archery in the last few years. I think with its inclusion in the Asian Games.
It's just been the last 3 years or so.
Yep.
And they seem to be as devoted to dominating compound as they are in recurve.
Definitely. They've definitely become a force to be reckoned with, as we saw this morning, both goals going to Korea.
Another errant shot right there. Calls for a 10. Pagnoni posts a 10.
Can't let the Koreans get away too far, because mixed team, it's all over pretty quickly. 4 ends and we're done.
Tough to reel them back in.
Yeah.
Although, that being said, the winds of change. Perhaps.
Maybe.
Italy will have to take advantage of that. Let's see what Mr. Kim Jong-ho has in store for us. The first two shots of this end had been 10s, X10s. Just outside the line.
So the door's open now for Italy to pull some of those points back.
This is where you've got to take advantage of the opportunity. The wind has died down.
Definitely, and the Koreans don't give you that many opportunities, so you really want to take it.
Yarina with a direct hit. Quick shot.
And the next.
That's a nice group.
I'd be real happy with that.
Yes, if we were teaming up, that would be a good group for us.
It would, yeah.
Yes. And you would have had to shoot both of those arrows. So.
Oh, okay, no pressure then.
Yeah, you shoot mine. But impressive to see Italy seize the moment and take advantage of the opportunity after the 8 and the 9 by Korea on the final two shots of that second end.
Definitely, and they're going to have to keep going at that pace because the Koreans will be relentless.
So Korea led, or actually we were tied at 38 all at the opening end. And now at the midway point, it's a 1-point lead for Italy, 76-75. With 8 more arrows to be shot by each of these teams. Good look at the technique and the form. The archers from both of these teams.
So we're going to see two different types of release aid here today. We've got the hinge or the back tension and also the trigger. So and with the conditions, it's not an advantage for either one.
Personal preference.
Definitely, yeah.
So Chae-won, who speaks fluent English. She spoke the right language that time.
Yeah, she's been okay on the first face. It's when we move to the right-hand face that she's shot a couple of loose arrows, so we'll see.
Beautifully done by Kim Jong-ho.
Just keeping that pressure on.
And just as we said, the winds had died down. Now they pick up once again. Blowing from left to right. In the yellow circles, but not the one she prefers. Irina Franchini putting up a 9.
10 here to tie up this match after end 3.
Federico Pagnoni. Can I do it? And so the lead shifts back to Korea.
I think that was slightly less desirable shot than he would have hoped.
Yes. Not what he had in mind.
Exactly.
That's what she had in mind. So Chae-won. And now can Korea run the table with 4 straight 10s here in the third end? They were down by 1 midway through the match. And a 10 will ensure that they will maintain their lead going to the fourth end.
It's impressive shooting. Now the Italians have to respond.
Need a 10 to stay with, well, they need a pair of 10s to stay within 1. Franchini appears to have caught the line. We'll see.
It's tricky to see from here, but I think possibly.
That's why we're paying those judges all that money. They'll have to earn their keep.
They will.
They will. I'm sure that they will. They always do. So the asterisk by the shot from Irina Franchini. From our lazy boy loungers here, at the Eastern Center. We're actually, people think we're outside. It's hot, it's difficult. We're inside, air conditioned. We're just, you know, chilling. We wish.
10, 10. Correct.
It's a little warm in here.
And it's warming up out there after the 4 straight 10s. 10, 10, 10, 10 for Korea. And Italy with at least 3 9s, possibly a 10. They have not changed that third score yet. They'll either be down by 3 or down by 2, depending upon the outcome of the judge's ruling.
Target 1.
And right now, if they can stay within 2, they got a chance. If they're down by 3, it's going to be a lot tougher to try to come back with just 4 arrows to go.
Yeah, especially in these conditions, because I wouldn't expect to see arrows outside the goal.
They did indeed change that shot and make it a 10. It's official. Marina Franchini's second shot at the third end does count as 10.
12 shots gone, 4 to go.
So 4 more shots to go for both of these teams. The 35-year-old Franchini to lead off for Italy. Been ranked as high as 51st in the world. Averages 9.3 points per arrow. She needs to average 10 with her 2 shots here in this end, and that's not going to happen.
Just feel like Italy are letting this slip away a little bit, especially with Korea shooting the way they are.
10 points.
Pagnoni posts another 10. Keeps hope alive. But now it's in the hands of the Koreans. That came dangerously close to being in the red zone.
It did indeed.
Which is a danger zone.
It's a very big danger zone. Something compound archers don't like to shoot.
No. And coaches don't like to see.
Definitely not.
Kim Jong-ho makes that 8 a thing of the past. Puts it out of everybody's mind. 2-point lead still for Korea with 2 to go. Marina Franchini. Could be her final shot.
That's a good one.
She's hoping that it's not. She's hoping that they can get to at least a shoot-off. And one never knows. We saw a 6 this morning, one of the team matches.
Yeah, I think the coach wasn't that helpful in that.
And it turned that match around.
It
The
did
Chinese
indeed.
Taipei.
Yeah, I was sat in the stands this morning and the coach got a bit excited, and I think it affected the archer on the line.
Well, the Italians have done their part. Now it's up to Korea. They're almost home. So Chae-won trying to sew it up. Kim Jong-ho can put the capper on it. Game, set, match.
It was a good contest. Just a couple of loose arrows from Italy. And the third end didn't help them when they shot 3 9s.
But you're right, just an arrow here, an arrow there. And when you're competing against a team like Korea, just 1 arrow, 1 point, here, there. And then it adds up, and you look up at the scoreboard, and all of a sudden, you're not getting the bronze medal.
No.
These 2 archers are getting the bronze medal. And so the medal run continues here on Compound Saturday. This is not Recurve Sunday. This is Compound Archery. And so far, Korea has won 3 team medals. 1 of them bronze, 2 of them gold.
I think they're trying to make up for the fact that their men's recurve team didn't make finals tomorrow.
Plus, I know that, you know, in talking with some of the representatives from Korea, they were not pleased with stage 1 in Shanghai and didn't feel as though things went that well. Some of that perhaps maybe has to do with the fact, you know, some of that was recurve, some of it was compound. But, you know, for the recurve archers, we're obviously in the season following an Olympiad. And I would imagine there's a letdown there.
there is a bit of a letdown, but they've had quite a hard process to actually make their world's team. It's quite a long, drawn-out selection process. And obviously they've got some of the veterans back, like O and M. So it may be that they're just not ready yet, but come the World Championships, then when they're looking to peak,
they'll be ready.
They will be ready.
They will be ready. Bank on it. They did mention that the selection process had been long, hard, strenuous, and a little mentally taxing.
Yeah, and I also think that, that these days archers aren't as scared of the Koreans as they used to be. They know they're beatable, and I think the rest of the world have caught up a little bit.
It's interesting to see how that changes. As we change and get set now for the mixed team gold medal match, should be a great one between Colombia and Mexico. And Mexico out first out of the tunnel, out onto the field of play. So a nice round of applause from the fans here at the Eastern Center, just outside of downtown Salt Lake City, Utah. Mexico defeating Spain in the quarterfinals, 149-147, and then winning a shoot-off with Italy. They had a better 19.
Yeah, so in the shoot-off, if the score's the same, it's the closest arrow to the center that will then be judged as the winning team.
And Linda Ochoa Anderson, as well as her partner Rodolfo Gonzalez, had that arrow that was closer to the center. They'll have to be close to the center today to compete with this team from Colombia, the Colombian squad, defeating the United States in the quarterfinals by 5, and then knocking off Korea in the semis by 2, 154-152. Sara Lopez teaming up today with Daniel Munoz. Two very, very talented archers. Obviously, Sara Lopez, we saw her remarkable winning streak end in Antalya. It was 31 consecutive matches in international match play she'd won, and 5 World Cup finals.
I know, and I don't think that's a streak that's going to be beaten soon.
It's remarkable.
Unless she does it herself. That is.
Although, maybe, well, we'll have to see. Of course, Sara will be competing in the match right after this, which is the women's bronze medal match, the individual bronze medal match. So she's got a chance to go back-to-back and get medals, 2 medals to take back home to Colombia.
Yeah, and this is a very experienced Colombian team. They've won a lot of medals together.
So a great look at Sara Lopez, #1 in the world still. Took bronze in Antalya. Won the the gold medal to start the season in Shanghai. And now she'll start the party off with the first shot of the mixed team gold medal match in Salt Lake City. Looks like Sara Lopez to me.
She's dialed in straight away. This could be tough for the Mexican team.
Muy fuerte, muy estable y fluido.
Daniel Munoz.
Muy fuerte. Muy bien aquí.
He seems pretty dialed in too.
Yeah. They came ready.
They did indeed.
Now let's see what Linda Ochoa Anderson has in store. Of course, Linda, the wife of Steve Anderson, who joined us this morning for the team medal matches, our broadcast. And Linda, I believe, has caught the line.
That's close. I'm not sure. I think the shadow might be. They've started. The judge is going to have to have a look at that one. Well, that's definitely a 10.
Yeah, my eyes did not betray me that time.
That's a great start by everyone.
Muy fuerte y buen contacto.
So we're in for a good one here. That's obvious.
Muy bien.
She's got a grip on the situation, no doubt about that.
She has. She's used to being out there on the stage. She enjoys herself out there.
You watch her and you can just tell she really enjoys the competition.
fuerte y
She
fluido.
thrives on it. It's very apparent. It's obvious.
Fuerte.
The way she carries herself.
Eso es. Muy bien. Muy bien, muy bien.
So a little bit of a slip right there.
Agüita.
Not much. It's going to take 2 10s from Mexico to tie the score going into the second half, which this team is fully capable of doing. Linda, who now makes her home right here in the Salt Lake City area, along with husband Steve, nailed it.
Todo tu tiempo. Dale ritmo y terminación.
Now trying to help coach her much younger teammate. He's 10 years younger. Rodolfo. Oh, Rodolfo. Jackpot.
It is, and she's probably just telling him which way the wind's blowing, just so that he knows, because obviously he won't see while he's at full draw and aiming.
You are so focused in on what you're aiming at.
Exactly, and we've got a windsock probably about 10 meters in front of the targets. Gives them a good indicator of which direction the wind's blowing at the moment.
Is that the greater indicator for you, Andrea, than say even the flags on top of the targets?
Yeah, the flags don't.
Because by then you're already at the target face.
You are, and also with the material that the flags are made of, it doesn't necessarily give you an indication as to how strong the wind is. It might give you the direction, but I've always found the actual windsock a much better indicator.
So pay no attention to those flags on top of target 1 and target number 2. Pay attention to Andrea Gales, coach from the United Kingdom, who came all the way over here to be with us today. And we appreciate that. Plus she enjoyed the food trucks out there for lunch as well.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah. Tell you what, the Easton Foundation has done a marvelous job of staging this event this week.
They have. The volunteers have been absolutely amazing. The whole tournament's run like clockwork, and it's a great credit to Mr. Easton and his crew. And you got another 2 years at the venue after this one.
And it's nice to be back. It's good to have an event back, not just in Salt Lake City, but back in the United States.
I've always enjoyed the World Cups in the United States. It's always been fun.
And of course, the World Championships will be in Mexico come October. So Sara shows that she is indeed a mortal, a human being after all. Nobody's perfect.
She's close to
She's close. Makes me feel a little bit better, personally.
Me too.
Daniel, direct hit. But an opportunity right now for Mexico. Wonder what's going through Steve Anderson's mind right now, let alone Linda's.
I think you're actually more nervous watching somebody. I know that this week is the first, well, my second time stood in the coach's box and was behind our recurve archers, and it's actually more nerve-wracking than shooting because you can't do anything.
Take the bow out of your hands and you're a wreck, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got to imagine Big Steve's kind of on the edge of his seat right now.
Yeah, I'm proud as well that his wife's out there shooting for gold.
Actually, they had changed the score. I didn't catch that. Mexico had 40 points in that first end. So they actually had a 1-point lead after the first end, and they lead by 1 now.
Yeah, Linda's was close, and I think we were having trouble viewing the Colombian arrow that was close, but I think the shadow meant that we thought it was in, but it wasn't. But that's a total of 39 for that end for Colombia, taking their total to 78.
So Mexico can afford to be just maybe a little bit off. They'd prefer not to be, but 2 10s, they keep their lead, a 10 and a 9, and we're tied up. So there's the 9. And it will be all right for Mexico if, and it's a big if, Rodolfo Gonzalez
Fuerte, termina tu disparo.
Will be
sí.
also competing later this afternoon in a bronze medal match. Can come through with a 10. And boy, it's close.
Bien, sale.
I
Doesn't
think that
look
might
like
be
he got
out.
it. Yeah.
Es esto, lo vamos a
So a pair of 9s. They needed a 9 and a 10 at least to stay tied. And instead,
Súbele un poquito. Ok, está bien. Pero nomás es por confianza, está bien. Sale, sale.
now they do have an asterisk
They do.
on that final shot by Gonzalez, but I'm going to go with Andrea Gales.
Tito, no.
Let's see if my spotting from London 2012 is working.
Ahí deja tu brazo izquierdo.
Now, you have
termina tu
younger eyes
disparo.
than I do, so I'm going to go with Andrea Gales on this one, and we'll wait and see. Of course, Mexico hoping they change that 9 to a
Se la
10,
traímos.
and all of a sudden it went dark and soft.
No sé,
I know.
Ok, vamos. Sale.
Muy fuerte.
All is well.
Abrimos, Linda.
All is well.
Yo estoy viendo ritmo.
Some fantastic slow-mo shots here of the archers shooting, just seeing how much the bows move and all the component parts.
When it's this hot, Andrea, do you start to have issues as far as the grip is concerned?
Most archers will put some form of grip tape or racket tape on their grips just to make sure that they don't slip
Así
or
empezamos,
chalk.
con ese mismo viento, Linda.
Something to compensate for that, so that
Obviously,
Pues,
Linda lives
empuje
here,
izquierdo y déjalo ahí.
sometimes trains here,
Dale seguimiento
and
nada más.
I'm sure she's
also grew up shooting in Mexico.
yeah.
Arriba a la izquierda. Va. Sale, Tito.
So after a strong start, Mexico had those 4 10s in the first end. Since then, they've had only 1 on their last 5 shots.
Termina. Bien.
There they go. They got back in the 10 ring.
Dale. Bien, vamos, 10.
And that gives Rodolfo a little fist bump
Muy fuerte, buen contacto.
as Sara Lopez goes back to
Ritmo.
work. Back to business.
Muy rápido.
But outside that 10 ring.
Just wondering if the archers are pushing a little bit against the breeze, because the breeze is blowing left to right, but a lot of the arrows are popping out the left-hand side of the 10.
Vamos,
So
Daniel. Muy fuerte.
So what are they thinking?
El ritmo muy fuerte.
I mean, I don't know whether it is being affected by the building, and that when they leave, they're just not getting the drift that they think they are.
Right.
Dale, Tito.
Because I think on the practice field, they're obviously stood in the open, and they're shooting out
Mejorando
into
tu
the
ritmo,
open,
Linda.
whereas here they're protected, but the arrow is not for the last 15 meters.
So in other words, when they're at that shooting
Fuerte.
line, everything isn't what it might seem to be.
Yeah.
Well done.
Bien, eso es
Linda
estado,
Choa
Linda, eso.
Anderson
Muy bueno. Ese.
launching a 10.
Vamos, Tito, vamos, Tito.
Pressure could really go on here for Mexico if they can manage to shoot another 10.
Fuerte. Centro fuerte.
Instead of a 10,
Vamos, Sara.
Dale, vamos, Sara.
it's an 8.
And we've seen those angles of arrows all week where the wind's blown and the arrows haven't gone in straight.
Eso es X.
Going for the kill right now. Sara Lopez on the hunt.
Yeah, and if I'm Sarah, just give my sight a couple of clicks. Everything's over to the left a little.
Vamos,
She
Daniel.
knows what she's doing.
Muy fuerte. Fluido.
Daniel Munoz, 28 years old,
Pues.
and another 10. So an excellent end by Colombia. It started with a 9, but then 3 straight 10s. And that lead that stood at 1 midway through the match now has grown to 3.
Hagan el trabajo que
117, 114 in favor of Colombia.
con muchas decisiones.
Colombia, of course, 4th in the world rankings in mixed team and 3rd after the ranking rounds. Mexico, they came to Salt Lake City ranked 17th in the world, but came out of the ranking rounds number 4. They had a good week.
Very good week. There was some,
Visto yo.
I mean, the qualification afternoon for the compounds was a tricky one, and I think there were a few surprises during the ranking
Igual,
round,
vamos, abrimos, Linda.
and also during the mixed team matches. It was really tricky, and I think we saw some teams go through.
Well, and who's to say we may not see some tricks here in this fourth end?
I would say it's Colombia's to lose right now with a 3-point lead.
They don't have to be perfect, but
Mexico do.
now, Mexico has to be perfect. And there can be no letdown by either of these teams, but Mexico really has to pick it up right here. They're capable. They had those 4 10s to start the match off. In fact, they started off with 5 straight 10s. Got it.
Vamos, Pito, vamos, Pito.
Stabs that 10 ring. And now
Ahí
Rodolfo.
estás bien. Fuerte. Termina tu
Only
disparo.
20 years old, right? 27 in the world.
Yeah.
He got it too.
Pito, un poquito abajo.
Vamos, Sara.
By the skin of his teeth.
Un poquito. Estás bien, siempre hacia abajo todos tus disparos.
Vamos,
Sí,
muy
ya está
fuerte,
bien.
And he's had a
estable, buen
fantastic week.
contacto y buen ritmo.
Really has.
Eso es.
We'll see some more of him this afternoon. We'll see some more of Sara Lopez as well.
Sigue ahí. ¿Cómo te sientas cómoda?
Sí, 9-6.
Vamos,
Sarah
Daniel.
says, I'm serious, man.
10.
Muy fuerte, muy estable y fluido.
Daniel Munoz.
Fluido, muy bien, eso es.
What a shot.
Bien, Linda, sale.
And I think he's only missed 110 this
Vamos a
match.
lo nuestro, vamos a lo nuestro, sale.
Right down the middle. Daniel Munoz. You're absolutely right. It was his second shot where he shot a 9. The
Fuerte,
final shot of the first
empújalo.
end. Since then, he's been clean.
Really. Yes, muy bien.
Trying to keep hope alive.
Vamos, Pito. Dale ritmo. Olvídate del tiempo. Dale
Rodolfo.
ritmo. Dale ritmo. Fuerte. Termina su disparo.
Taking his time, and it does not pay dividends.
Vamos, Sara.
That probably sealed the deal.
Termina.
Although good learning experience for him that he can take into his next match, the bronze medal match coming up.
Sure, I mean, there'll be a few nerves out there for him, so
Vamos, vamos. Arriba.
Eso es, muy bien, muy bien.
No nerves for Sara Lopez.
Vamos, Daniel.
none at all.
None. She's in her element.
Rodolfo would have learnt a lot from being with Linda.
Disparo.
Linda's an experienced archer with,
Fluido.
you know, that's made medal matches and won medals, so
Muy bien. Eso es.
Brilliant display of shooting by these two archers who win by 5 points, 157 to 152. If they missed, they didn't miss much.
definitely not.
A lot of respect between these archers, these two teams, these two nations.
And friends, you know,
Sure.
you make many friendships when you stood on the shooting line.
Please congratulate silver medalist Mexico.
Yes, 1 minute you just want to beat the living, you know what? The next minute,
Exactly, when
hugs
you,
and kisses.
when you stood on the shooting line, you definitely want to win. But when you're off that shooting line, there's a lot of friendships that are forged through this sport.
Still, they'll take that bronze medal. Thank you. Congratulations to Sara Lopez and Daniel Munoz. They are the gold medalists in mixed team competition. Mexico will get the silver medal. No shame in that. That's the thing I have to keep reminding folks about, is that just to get to a medal match is an accomplishment in and of itself.
Oh, yeah, with the level of archery in the world now, it's insane. You look at the likes of Denmark that didn't get through the mixed team, and they have some of the best archers in the world. So it's all about on the day, and anybody can make a medal match, but making it consistently, like Sara.
Yeah, that takes, that's something special. It's not just talent, it's a combination of talent, a great work ethic, a strong mindset, just all those things that come together in combination. And, you know,
And
that's what it
enjoyment.
takes. Yeah, and enjoyment.
Yeah, I think if you're enjoying your sport and you're loving what you do, the results come.
Well, the result has come for Colombia in mixed team competition as they come out on top. Sara Lopez, Daniel Munoz. More of Sara in store as you look at the pairings for the bronze and the gold medal match for the women. Sara Lopez, we're right back out here in just a moment. fighting for another bronze medal here at the Easton Center in Salt Lake City, Utah, the crossroads of the West, literally and figuratively. This is where a lot of the railroads in the United States intersected when they were built over 100 years ago. So Salt Lake City, a vital hub in the Intermountain West, and obviously the home of Easton and Hoyt for quite some time. That's such an interesting, and I'll get back to this in a second. First, let's get set for the compound bronze medal match, and this will be a good one. It'll be very interesting to see how the Korean Sung-Young-Soo does in this match against Sara Lopez. Sung-Young-Soo already with a gold medal in her pocket from this morning in the women's team competition. Back out there now representing Korea. Shooting for the bronze medal on target number 1, Sung-Young-Soo, who earlier this week in the quarterfinals defeated Chen Yi-Swan of Chinese Taipei by 2 points, and then dropped a 7-point decision to Sarah Sonicson in the semifinal. Meanwhile, Sara Lopez got here with a 7-point win over Danielle Reynolds of the United States in the quarterfinals, and then Sarah falling by just a single point to Andrea Marcos of Spain in the semifinals.
That match win percentage is quite insane. 82.6%.
You're impressed, huh?
Really impressed.
Yeah, 82%, almost 83%. She shot 92 matches, well, coming into Salt Lake City, and won 76 of them. And as we said before, 31 consecutive wins in match play in international competition, and that included 5 World Cup finals.
Yes. And her ranking round, I think this week's might have seen her in her lowest position in ranking for a while.
Let's see, this week Sarah shot 692.
And was third.
Muy fuerte,
and was third.
muy
Yes.
estable, buen
Her
contacto.
career best is 710.
Buen contacto y buen ritmo. Vamos, muy fuerte.
Yikes.
Eso es 10.
Yikes!
I know, so that's 72 arrows, and you only missed 10.
You know, the thing about Sarah, too, is we watch Sung-Young-Soo shoot the 9 and fall behind.
Vamos.
You know, if she ends up in a bronze medal match, she approaches it, I think, the same way she would a gold medal match. It's not as though she's disappointed or this is some sort of consolation prize.
Muy bien. Eso es.
She takes this every bit as seriously.
Yeah, because she's not only representing her country, she's representing her sponsors. So, you know, she has to hold herself in the correct manner, regardless of how she's feeling.
But as you and I both know, we're all human beings, and that's easier said than done sometimes. Not a lot of athletes can come out, although I think she's fired up about the bronze medal she just won in mixed team. She's on a roll right now.
She is.
You know, the interesting thing is that Sung-Young-Soo did not shoot poorly.
No, she didn't. But Sarah said she's fired up. She's just come off of a match. She knows what the field feels like, what the wind's doing. She is the current world record holder for the 15-arrow match with a maximum 150.
Sung-Young-Soo is up against it today. Looking at the first 2 stages so far this season, at stage 1 it was Sarah Priels of Belgium taking the women's bronze medal, and then at stage 2 it was that young lady, Sara Lopez. So this is the 2nd straight stage she has found herself in the bronze medal match. She was successful on Coney Alta Beach and trying to emulate that success here in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, and you know, Sarah's now cemented her place in the finals at the end of the year, which is what she would have wanted to do.
Right now, she can pick up 18 more points, and she already was in great shape. Next time we get to the break between ends, we'll go over the standings in women's recurve, or excuse me, compound. We'll wait for tomorrow to do recurve.
Vamos, Sara. Muy fuerte.
But you're right, Sara Lopez, Sara Sonicson. in great shape as far as
이제 살짝
qualifying
한다,
for
스시.
the World Cup final in Rome.
And that'll be a beautiful city.
We will be entertained, yes.
And September, you could get anything
Buen
weather-wise.
contacto y buen ritmo. Muy bien, eso es.
And 9 was just a blip on the radar screen, it appears. She's back in the center circle. Sara Lopez leading in this end, leading in the match by 3 at this point. Right on the line.
이게 나, 유수야. 지금
Sara,
Counts every bit as much as the next 10.
muy fuerte.
Indeed. You don't
Buen
get
contacto,
extra points for
buen
them being in the middle.
Muy
No
fuerte.
style points.
Pues, muy bien.
Fortunately not.
We're impressed, but yeah,
Yeah.
it all counts about the same.
It does, and that's it's a good lead to have after N2, 3-point lead for Sarah.
¿Sí? Ah, bueno.
59-56. Sara Lopez with a 3-point lead. She opened up the match with a
유수야, 지금
2-point
저쪽이
advantage, jumping out to that 2-point lead as she was
Va a
perfect
ser más interesante.
in the first end. She's been almost perfect. Of her first 6 shots, 5 of them have been in the center circle.
But that's the level we've come to expect from her.
And that she's come to expect from herself.
A ver, de esta.
And all great athletes are that way. I don't think anybody puts more demands on themselves, more pressure on themselves than a great athlete does. There's external pressure, there's no question about that. And she knows who she is and where she stands in the world of archery.
Yeah, she's
But she still has to get up in the morning and go do the work.
She does, and I believe she's a medical student as well. So, you know, the added pressure of she probably doesn't train as often as she would like. But
Probably
hey,
not.
the rest of the world is glad of that.
Yeah, yeah. No, if I end up in the emergency room and Dr. Lopez is my doctor, I hope she was paying more attention to the medical books than she was to her bows and arrows.
Fuerte. Buen contacto y buen ritmo.
I'm sure she would.
Solo ritmo. Muy fuerte. Muy bien.
If you're her patient, you want her shooting a 10 with you.
Definitely. But I think she's the sort of person that will be focused on whatever she does.
Gave back a point.
Vamos. Muy fuerte. Buen
Sun
contacto y buen
Young-soo
ritmo.
hanging in there.
Muy bien, eso es.
And Lopez keeping her at bay.
다시 있게.
2-point lead. Final arrow of this third end. 5 ends altogether.
다시.
Now that we're an individual match play.
괜찮아.
Vamos. Igualita.
다음에 할게.
Fuerte,
괜찮아, 그
buen
정도.
contacto.
잘했어.
Buen ritmo.
우리 목표는 19만 쏘면 돼.
Muy bien.
그래.
So a 9 by Sara, and as we said, an individual match play, 5 ends, 3 arrows per archer in each end. Total points for those 15 arrows determine our winner, and if we're tied after 5 ends, the match will be decided by a 1-arrow shoot-off. Now, we talked about the compound women's standings coming into Salt Lake City. Sarah Sonicson of Denmark, whom we shall see momentarily,
뒤집어놓은 거 보니까
was on top of the standings with 46 points after getting the silver in Shanghai and the gold in Antalya. Sarah hanging in there after getting a bronze in Antalya and the gold in Shanghai. She's only 3 points back. Sarah Priels, Belgium, a little bit further back with 30 points. Then it's Tanya Jensen, of Denmark. Parisa Barachi of Iran. Toya Ellison still in the picture. And we'll have to see what happens from there.
Yeah, and I think Sarah Priels was knocked out in the quarters, so she'll have some good points to go on to there. And obviously, Sara Lopez and Sonicson are going to have good points to go on there. So those 3 will probably be pretty happy with their week's work.
Sarah Priels could have picked up, as well as Tanya Jensen, anywhere from 11 to 13 points.
Yeah.
Muy fuerte, muy
So even though they didn't reach the medal match, they did get something accomplished here this week by picking up more World Cup points.
And although you do want to win or podium at these events, the goal is to make the finals.
Pretty special to get to that podium.
Definitely.
Vamos, Sara. Muy fuerte.
Sung Young Soo here in the fourth end with a pair of tens.
Fuerte.
Trying to mount a comeback.
Muy bien,
Lopez
eso es.
again, keeping her at arm's length. But knowing that just one shot that's a little bit off would open the door for Sung Young Soo.
And she's hung in well.
Very well.
Sara. Muy fuerte.
10-10-10.
Muy estable y buen ritmo.
Lopez could do the same
Buen ritmo.
and does the same.
Impressive shooting by both ladies.
2-1 lead for Sara Lopez.
Mira, pero sigue
Right now,
tomando.
when you look at the difference in this match, a little bit of a slow start for Sung Young Soo, who she had 2 nines in each of the first 2 ends. But she's really picked it up in the third and the fourth. And as a result, has been able to stay with Sara.
Yeah,
Aquí está
I do feel
ejemplificado.
2-point lead with 1 end to go for Sara.
Is it safe? Can you say it's safe?
You can never say it's safe, but you would rather be in that position, I think.
Given the choice, yes. Given the choice. Sung Young Soo, just 21 years of age, ranked 18th in the world a year ago, now 58th in the world, but had a good week here in Salt Lake City, obviously. Young lady who has just 1 World Cup medal to her credit so far, trying to pick up her second one. Her first one was a team gold medal earlier this season on the World Cup circuit.
I think she picked up another one this morning.
And then she did pick up another one this morning. You're right, I stand corrected. So this would be her third.
It's a tall order.
It would be her first individual. And I know some archers specialize in shooting with teams, but you like to get that individual medal yourself, don't you?
You do. Team rounds are fun, and it's good that you can be there with your teammates and enjoy shooting together. But to actually get an individual medal, it's you against one other person, and that's it. It's all your responsibility.
Mano a mano. Or woman to woman, as we have the case here. And we've got ourselves a match. This is fun.
Muy fuerte. Buen contacto y buen
Sung
ritmo.
Young Soo is
Muy
not
fuerte.
going away.
Fuerte. Muy bien, muy bien.
Oh, and now we're down to 1 point.
The plot doth thicken. It's a 1-point lead, 126-125 here in the 5th and possibly deciding end. Can Sung Young Soo come back? Full draw for a long time, but
Made it with count.
Vamos, muy fuerte, estable, buen contacto, buen ritmo. Eso es.
and Sara
muy
didn't
bien.
hesitate at all. As soon as her opponent had finished shooting, she was almost at full draw.
She likes to be quick in her shot, so you can upset her rhythm a little bit by taking your time, because she's one of the. So Sara needs a 10 to win this gold medal.
Muy estable, buen contacto y buen ritmo. Buen ritmo.
Pressure, pressure, pressure.
Bien.
Yes.
What pressure? What pressure? Sara Lopez needed the 10, got the 10. She is the bronze medalist here in Salt Lake City.
Devuelvo.
And that was 6 consecutive 10s.
Estuvo
6
bueno.
consecutive 10s by Sung Young Soo, and in fact, out of her final 9 shots, 8 of them were in the center circle. She mounted a furious rally. In fact, let's say 9 of her last 10 shots. On her last 10 shots, only 1 was a 9, and it still wasn't enough to catch Sara Lopez. But what a shot! What a wonderful match.
Yeah. All the matches have been so close today, and that's great to see. It's great for the spectators. Keeps us on the edge of our seats.
It kept Sara Lopez on the edge of her seat, kept the pressure on her. And Sung Young Soo with a beautiful performance. Came up just a little bit short. She was down by 2 going into that end. Sara dropped a point when she shot a 9 on her first arrow at the final end, but then rallied with 2 straight 10s and wins by 1, 146 to 145. And And that's what a medal match is supposed to be like.
It is indeed, and the scores were fantastic as well. So that was a high quality match. And you always feel a little bit for the gold medal match coming on after a match like that.
How do you match that? Yeah.
I've seen so many bronze medal matches that have been better than the gold medal matches because there's more at stake, I think.
There actually is. I mean, you either go home with the medal or you go home empty-handed. Yeah. With a hearty handshake and a pat on the back. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming, and better luck next time.
Exactly. We'll see you down the road. But I got a feeling Sung Young Soo is going to have her share of medals down the road. So fear not for that young Korean archer. She acquitted herself very well today, as I'm sure Sara Sonicson of Denmark will here in the gold medal match for the women. The women's gold medal match, and here is Sara Sonicson. Sara this week in the quarterfinals defeating Kim Yoon-hee of Korea 145 to 139, and then outlasting Sung Young Soo by 5 points, 140 to 145. We were talking about Sara's winning percentage. How about the 73% win percentage for Sara Sonicson?
It's amazing. The Danish girls this year have been incredible, both Sara and Tanya. Sara's just snapping at the heels of Sara Lopez at the moment. She's world ranked #2. She has beaten her this year at the Conquest Cup in Turkey.
Well, Andrea Marcos, a pleasant surprise. I'm not sure if she would have been the pick of many at the beginning of the week to end up in this gold medal match, but she was outstanding this week, defeating Sarah Friels in the quarterfinals and then knocking off Sara Lopez, which says a lot, in the semis. And so Andrea Marcos, who won a World Cup stage in Antalya 2 years ago, has a chance of winning another gold medal.
Yeah, and I believe earlier in the rounds she actually had to come through 2 one-arrow shoot-offs to actually get to the quarterfinals. So
she's been tested.
She has been tested royally this week and come through with flying colours.
So Spain's Andrea Marcos, 28 years old, once ranked as high as 5th in the world, and she starts off strong.
Everybody shooting left.
They've all gone to school on each other.
They have.
We do have monitors inside the Easton Archery Center where these archers are waiting, and Sara Sonicson, maybe she wasn't paying attention to the monitor. No, I'm sure she was.
Sure she was.
Martin Damsbo, by the way, in the coach's box supporting Sara Sonicson, while Andrea Marcos may have just given Sara Sonicson the equalizer. Nope, not able to take advantage.
I'm sure these two ladies, a few nerves jangling. It's always a tense affair when you're shooting for a World Cup stage.
And Andrea Marcos will have at the very least a 1-point lead after this first end.
Yeah, I think that's clipped the line.
It appears to have, and you see Sara Sonicson sneezing, coughing. She's been ill all week.
She has.
She's not been feeling well. So what we may have seen in that first end may be a reflection of that.
Yeah, I think it's been tough. She's not been feeling very well, and also the heat. And if you're already ill, it sort of compounds it. And
yeah, it's not exactly what the doctor ordered.
Definitely not. It's been nice though to actually have some sunshine. Just not too much of it.
Fortunately, the shade now falling upon at least Sara Sonicson, and soon the entire shooting line will be engulfed in the shade.
If she is having like flu-like symptoms, it can affect her breathing pattern, especially at full draw, and you know, you just don't feel quite right.
Talk about that a little bit more, Andrea. How the breathing pattern does affect archers, and when you're trying to shoot with regard to the breathing pattern.
For me, when I pull back, I inhale, and just as I settle into my draw, I just exhale a little bit so that I've got room for manoeuvre, so that I can inhale some more if I need to. Otherwise, you end up with your lungs too full.
Are you trying to release between the time you exhale or inhale? Or is it
Don't
different for
actually think
everybody
about
else?
it. You're too busy thinking about executing your shot, and it becomes a very sort of, I think over time it becomes part of your shot routine and you don't really notice it.
So whenever the time is right, is basically what you're saying.
And really, in this sort of match play, you've only got 20 seconds in which to shoot, so it's all very quick.
Andrea Marcos building her lead up to 2. So Sara Sonicson does not appear to be herself, at least not the Sara Sonicson we saw in Shanghai and Antalya. But give Andrea Marcos credit for building a 3-point lead. She's up 58-55 after the opening 2 ends.
Yeah, I was watching Andrea shoot yesterday through the eliminations, and she looked strong. She was enjoying herself. She was, you know, ecstatic about making this gold medal match.
She's having fun here in Salt Lake City, no doubt about that. The woman who was ranked as high as 5th in the world about a year or so ago came in averaging 9.5 points per arrow, has won 63% of her matches, 26 wins out of the 41 she competed in coming to Salt Lake City. And she's good in tiebreakers. If it does get to a tiebreaker, she's 4 out of 6.
Yeah, I saw 2 of those this week, and both girls shot an X, and Andrea's was closer. So to actually lose a match on an X is quite tough to take.
Yeah. How do you? Yeah. You know, I'm fond of saying you've got to put the past in the past, but sometimes putting the past in the past is a little bit tough.
It is, but I mean, I've been in that position and lost on an X, and you just have to walk off the line and go, I shot the best arrow I could, and somebody shot better.
The gods smiled that day on someone else, and hopefully they smile on you at some point in time. Right now, the sun shining brightly down on Sara Sonicson of Denmark, who's trying to and will medal. Oh, there's Sara Sonicson.
There we go.
Bearing down.
Nada de aire ahora, Andrea,
She will come away
Junto al medio.
with her 3rd straight World Cup stage win. But Andrea Marcos is going to make it tough. Making it tough already.
Yeah, she can increase her lead here.
Eso es.
Andrea Marcos. Solid shooting.
Yep. 10 points. Nice job.
Sara Sonicson trying to come back, trying to match it. What a great opportunity for Marcos right now. Ooh, shot. Beautiful grouping there. And so Andrea Marcos, with just 6 arrows left in the quiver, has herself a 3-point lead. She led by 1 after the first end, by 2 after the second end, and now by 3 after the third end. So steadily she's been building that lead up.
She has, and you'd say that Sarah's a little bit off color today, and a little bit not as tightly grouped as you'd expect her to be.
And now we know how she feels about things. Yeah.
Maybe she heard us.
Oh, some days are a little bit tougher than others.
They are, but you know what? She's had a great week.
Sometimes you just got to tough it out.
And she's edged that little bit closer to Sara in the world rankings, like, because Sarah's finished 3rd and she's minimum of 2nd place.
Sara's 3rd place finish, getting her 18 points. Sara Lopez, that is. 25 points on the line right here for the winner of this match. That being said, the silver medalist picks up 21 points.
Yep.
So again, Sarah's work this week has been brilliant, and that cements her really into the final. So, job done.
Tough to tell. Probably a 9.
Yeah.
We're looking at the 2 women who had the highest scores during the ranking round. After 72 arrows, Sara Sonicson had a score of 699, and Andrea Marcos had a 694. There is the first one that gets away.
Maybe a few nerves coming in now with Sara building the pressure.
Wow. I know that's brilliant commentary. Wow. But
all
that
that
is
needs to be said.
That is impressive to see 3 arrows like that. And you look at that arrow there. Andrea Marcos was actually, she knows she was very lucky to have caught that line to get 9. It could easily have been an 8.
Yeah. Yeah, especially this week, as I said earlier, the arrows have been going in at some funny angles due to the wind, and it only had to kick the other way, and it would have been an 8.
So we have ourselves a match still. 115, 114, 1 point advantage for Andrea Marcos after she puts up 2 9s and a 10 in that 4th end, while Sara Sonicson was getting her game on. 3 straight 10s, and in fact 5 out of the last 6 shots have been in the 10 ring.
Yeah, and Sara will go first because she's behind in the match on the final end. So that can be an advantage because you're putting the pressure on your opponent and they know what they have to do then.
It's always a mental game, but it becomes even more of a mental game if you can get that accomplished. Put those scores up. Now there's a good look at the windsock as the wind starts to pick up in the late afternoon here in Salt Lake City, just after 4 o'clock Salt Lake City time, or 1600 hours.
1600
for the rest of the world. One day maybe we'll get with the rest of the world. I'm not sure.
Hey.
Maybe.
We'd say 4 o'clock.
Okay. It's tea time.
Indeed.
Yes.
10.
Marcos up to the challenge. Sonicson throwing down the gauntlet. Marcos picks it up.
This is incredible shooting.
1 point between these two with 1 arrow to go.
Oh,
And that may have sealed the deal.
might have done. So Andrea needs just a 9 to win the match here.
She's been so good.
9 to win.
And there it is. Andrea Marcos from Spain winning her 2nd World Cup gold medal. Her first 2 years ago on Coney Beach, and her 2nd here in Salt Lake City. And she earned it.
She certainly did. Sara came back real hard towards the end of that match.
145, 143, your final score. Andrea Marcos of Spain, a very deserving winner as she shot brilliantly down the stretch, recovering. You got to give her a lot of credit. After that tough 4th end, she comes back with 3 straight 10s when it counted the most, Andrea.
Yeah, and the emotion and the nerves inside you at that point, knowing that really your opponent's pushing you and you have to shoot a 10. Just the pressure increases. You see afterwards.
The release.
The release of that and how much it meant to Andrea.
The relief. It's always interesting to talk to great athletes. You know, you ask them, I mean, are you motivated by the desire to win or more by the fear of losing? And a lot of athletes, it's that fear of losing that drives them. And they're great athletes, and they end up winning because of that.
Yeah.
So now we update the standings, courtesy of our great crew here in Salt Lake City. Sara Sonicson still on top. You saw it right there. And then a little bit further down the line, you see Soche Wan, who will not qualify, and the others who won't qualify for the World Cup final.
There's still 1 stage left in Berlin, so some of these archers will travel.
Sara Sonicson picks up 21 points. And as we said a little earlier, we'll go back to the, at least on our notes, the standings. Sara Sonicson had 46 points, so yeah, 21 more to that. She's in. Sara Lopez is in.
Yeah.
And as we look at the setup for the men's matches, Stefan Hansen and Mike Schlusser are in for the gold medal match. Bridger Deaton and Rodolfo Gonzalez will be the featured opponents. In the undercard here in Salt Lake. And it'll be a good undercard. It'll be a great matchup. No doubt about that. Between the young Mexican and Bridger Deaton of the United States. Bridger Deaton, who in the quarterfinals defeated Che Yong-hee and then only lost by 2 points to Stefan Hansen in the semifinals. Good look at Bridger Deaton of the United States in the men's compound bronze medal match. And you see his numbers on the screen right there, ranked 27th in the world. This is the man who won the World Cup final in 2014 in Lausanne. And he's backed up by a guy who knows a thing or two about compound archery, Braden Gillentine.
It's a good person to have in the coach's box. And I know Bridger was quite upset with his qualifying. He qualified badly, didn't make the team for the team rounds, and then spent a whole day just pounding arrows on the practice field. Came out and proved what he could do the next day.
Rodolfo Gonzalez, who was part of the mixed team competition for Mexico. Mexico falling to Colombia in the gold medal match for mixed team competition. But he's got a silver medal in his pocket already. Now he's out for bronze medal. But he's got a tough customer to deal with in Bridger Deaton.
He has. Bridger's been on this stage before, and Mr. Gonzalez, this is quite new for him.
Had some very good moments in that mixed team match, and some of the shots went a little bit astray.
Say on the individuals, you are out there on your own, huh? And he's left-handed. He has to face his opponent.
Literally and figuratively.
It's actually worse for a right-handed archer because you don't face that many left-handed, and if you're left-handed, you do it all the time.
All the time, sure. I have to look at you.
I know.
Gonzalez sends a message on the first shot.
Good stuff, bro.
And Deaton with the answer.
There we go, he's moved his sight on the first arrow. That's always good to see.
That one drifted just a bit on the young man who defeated Alberto Simonelli in the quarters and then lost to Mike Schlusser in the semis.
Yeah, good. Left side.
He's dialed in. He's in that spot. And it's a sweet spot for him right now.
Okay, if you got it.
So Gonzalez trailing by 1. Puts a little bit more pressure back on Bridger Deaton's shoulders.
Trust yourself, make it pretty.
It's early days, but you don't want to get too far behind.
Nice and steady. Keep coming. Good shot.
That will get it done. First end is finished. And Bridger Deaton of the USA takes a 1-point lead, 30-29 over his opponent. This week in qualifying, Real Wild was actually the top qualifier with a 7:04. Kim Jung-ho also had 7:04. And you look at Rodolfo Gonzalez, he was right up there at number 7 with a 6.96.
So it was quite tricky. It kept the scores lower than we'd expect in good conditions. And
Very nice. Keep it up,
Yeah, I was looking up the numbers and trying to find Bridger Deaton. And Bridger actually was 24th in the ranking round.
yeah,
24th.
he had a bad day.
Yes.
As I said, he put some hours in the next day, and it seemed to pay off.
His opponent, Gonzalez, was 7th in the ranking round, as we said earlier. But Bridger Deaton doing a good job of overcoming a tough start to his week to get to this bronze medal match.
Yeah, so he'd have had to have shot a couple of extra rounds than Mr. Gonzalez, because
Good shot.
You got to buy
You get a buy into the 1/16th if you're ranked in the top 8. So Rodolfo would have not come into match play until Friday morning.
9 points.
So Deaton got here the hard way. He earned it. Well, both earned it.
A little bit coming across
But
left to right.
one had to shoot a few more matches.
Yes.
Although, you know, it's interesting, Andrew. You look at it, sometimes those archers who get those buys, you think it's wonderful, and they're out in their first match.
Yeah, and I think that's why they've adjusted the schedule a little now. So the early matches are on one day, and then they stop and do team rounds in the afternoon, and then everybody then starts fresh on a Friday morning. So those people that have shot before haven't really got an advantage anymore because they're coming in fresh on a Friday morning.
Well, right now, Bridger's feeling pretty fresh himself. A determined Bridger Deaton, who, as we said, came out of the ranking rounds 24th and had to really negotiate and navigate his way through the field. He is a determined man right now as he checks the fletching on those arrows just to make sure. And right now he has not missed on a single shot and leads by 3 after the second end, 60-57. Does this also, in a different sort of way, put pressure, though, on Bridger Deaton? Because, you know, you start thinking, it's almost like that pitcher in American baseball is throwing the perfect game or the no-hitter.
Yep.
And as you go along further into the game or the match, whatever it may be, you're trying to stay perfect. And now there's a certain sort of pressure that's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's negative pressure.
Yeah.
You're trying not to miss, and I think that it's a little bit what compound archery has become.
Trying not to miss.
Yeah, because, you know, with these guys, you shoot a ranking round and top 30 guys are dropping less than 20 points in 72 arrows.
It is a game of not missing.
It is.
Which is really a different way. It's a different spin put on the sport because it's really about making. And then right now he's made 7 straight 10s to start this match. Make it 8. Let's say he made him. He didn't not miss.
No, and, you know, he's going to be focused on hitting. He's not going to be focused on missing.
Because the other approach is a passive approach.
Yes. You have to be aggressive towards every single arrow.
Nice and easy. Yes.
Wow. W-O-W.
And it's great that he's got his friend and teammate Braden in the coach's box. They work well together. He'll know what key words and phrases to say to Bridger to calm him down, to keep him rolling.
Some triggers.
Yeah. And that's what the person in the coach's box is there for. You're not there to coach at this stage.
No.
You're there to just give them the confidence and make them feel as comfortable as possible so that they can just run their routine and do what they do.
Well, right now, Bridger Deaton is doing it. 90-86, 4-point advantage. But that's, well, it's not secondary, but it's the subplot is, can he run the table? Can he shoot the next 6 arrows into that 10 ring and have a perfect score?
I'm sure he's done a perfect score before.
First on target number 2. 6 shots to go with this bronze medal.
But when you're on a stage, it's those little bits of tension that creep in.
Yeah. Cameras are there. Andrea Gales is commenting. Gonzalez is shooting well.
He is indeed. For a young man with not a lot of experience, he's certainly holding his own.
Don't mean to forget about Rodolfo. Oh, you could hear it as soon as Bridger released. And that is not only going to break his streak, it's also making the match that much closer.
It is, and we'll just see now whether Bridger can recover and just...
Now it's a matter of winning the match. Forget about that string.
Good shot.
9.
And so we are tied. The 4-point lead is gone. Just like that.
Yeah, and this is where your mental game needs to be on top. You can't let one arrow affect you.
Meanwhile, Gonzalez is getting stronger as the match goes longer. And he now leads Bridger Deaton by 1. We have seen a 5-point swing in this 4th end.
Yeah.
That's why nobody ever quits. Nobody ever gives up. You don't know.
You can't. I mean, the amount of matches that come down to the wire after you're behind is... And Bridger needs to get his head in a good place now. And Braden needs to work hard in the next 30 seconds to get his man back where he was at the start of the match.
Just to recap, in case you're just joining us, Bridger Deaton opened up this bronze medal match with 9 straight 10s. Had a score of 90 points, led by 4 points over Gonzalez after 3 ends, but then a disastrous 7 to open up the 4th end, followed by 2 9s, while Gonzalez was putting up 3 straight 10s, and all of a sudden the complexion changes greatly. A 5-point swing that has Gonzalez leading as we go to the 5th and possibly final end.
Bridger just needs to get a good arrow down now.
There we go.
Tearing that target apart now.
He is.
With a vengeance. He cannot afford to falter, and you can see there a little jittery, and it cost him.
Whole new ball game leading a bronze medal match.
A pair of 10s for Deaton, who has settled back down after that tough 4th end. And tough is an understatement. Gonzalez back in the middle. And we're back into a tie with 1 arrow to go.
Keep that back half rolling. Nice and smooth. There we go.
Deaton has assured himself of no worse than a shoot-off.
Yeah, and that's a great comeback after that 4th end.
Can Gonzalez force the shoot-off? We're about to find out.
He's holding just a little longer on this one, but he has done it.
The answer comes, and it's yes. A resounding yes. You were worried. You thought he was holding too long.
I did think he was holding a little long and just starting to move about at full draw. It doesn't help your aim.
You have got to love this. What an amazing match. And Bridger Deaton trying to fight off. I'm sure he's trying to fight off those thoughts about being disappointed about that 4th end. You can't fix it now.
No.
It's past, and all you can do is focus on the shoot-off.
Yeah, you have to get rid of those demons pretty quick. And I think he let it affect his 2nd and 3rd arrows in that end. But I think Braden calmed him down, got him back rolling where he needed to be. So this is anybody's game now.
And on that 7, it could have been anything. An early release.
Yeah, you could have been aiming there. You just sat there and suddenly you've executed in completely the wrong place. It didn't look like an awful shot. You know, he tried to lift his bow up in the air to try and get the arrow to move, but with compound, the arrow's long down range when you try and move.
I've tried that with bowling, and it never seems to work. The body English, yeah.
I've tried it with my bow, it never worked.
No. Okay, here we go. Shoot-off. We had a shoot-off this morning in the women's gold medal team match. And now our first shoot-off here in the individual medal matches in Salt Lake City, Stage 3 of the Archery World Cup Tour. Hope you're enjoying it. Wherever you may be and whatever time of day it may be in the middle of the night somewhere else. Well, hopefully we're able to keep you up and keep you wide awake.
I think it's good nighttime in the UK.
I'm sure it is. It's bedtime in the UK.
Definitely.
Gonzalez wants to put this one to bed. The door, as we like to say,
is open.
Ajar. Bridger Deaton. Got it! Bridger Deaton comes back and bags himself a bronze medal.
He did it the hard way.
I think a couple of pints might be in order for Bridger Deaton.
I'm sure he'll go and enjoy himself with the team.
And you know what? Rodolfo Gonzalez, although I don't think he's old enough here in Utah to have himself a cool beverage.
Maybe a Coke.
Maybe a Coca-Cola. You know what? He needs to toast himself as well. He did a great job, the 20-year-old, against Bridger Deaton. When Bridger gave him that opportunity, he took advantage.
Yeah, and that's a little tough for him, being fourth in 2 medal matches today, but I'm sure massive learning experience for him, and he'll come out stronger the next time.
Are you not entertained? Thank you, Bridger Deaton. Thank you, Rodolfo Gonzalez. We appreciate your efforts so very, very much. Great match and a great week for Bridger Deaton, who really showed some grit and determination after shooting 7, 9, and 9. Only 25 points in that 4th end. And he comes back, forces a shoot-off, and is able to win that shoot-off. And he won it with a great shot.
He did, yeah.
Won one of those, well, they shot a 9, and I shot a better 9, which kind of almost feels like you're backing into it.
It does, but that absolutely in the X, no doubt.
Nope, he earned that one. And so Bridger Deaton will be celebrating tonight after a good week of work out here in the Rocky Mountains. And now we're getting set for our final match of the day here on Compound Saturday at the beautiful Easton Foundation Archery Center, just to the west of downtown Salt Lake City. Utah, great time of year to be here in this beautiful state. Good look at the U.S. squad stands. And they made a lot of noise for Bridger Deaton. Helped him, I'm sure, get over the hump and win that bronze medal. Now the gold medal match in men's compound. And this is a marquee matchup between 2 heavyweights. Not literally, but figuratively, 2 of the heavyweights in this sport.
Yeah, ranked number 1 and 2 in the world right now.
In this corner, the number 1 compound archer in the world from Denmark, weighing in at 118 pounds, dripping wet, Stefan Hansen. He's got Martin Dansbo in the box behind him.
He has the deepest voice for a little guy as well.
Oh, he does, I know. It's amazing. And here is Mr. Perfect, as George Takachal likes to call him. Mike Schlusser, or Schlusser, I should say. I had a chance to enjoy lunch with Mike, and I'll share some of that with you during our coverage of this match. But Mike, number 2 in the world, and Mike Schlusser of the Netherlands, who got by Rodolfo Gonzalez in the semifinals by 9 points. Surprising margin there. And defeated Daniel Munoz by 5 in the quarterfinals. As for Stefan Hansen, he was able to defeat El Salvador's Miguel Angel Veliz by 4 points, 144 to 140. And then, tell you what, that semifinal matchup between Stefan Hansen and Bridger Deaton was a great one as well.
Yeah.
Hansen winning it by 2 points.
Yeah, and if you look at Mike's 116th, he had Sergio Pagni, and
Was that all?
that's all, and he had to shoot perfect to get past him.
Shot a 150 to Sergio's 147. So Mike will lead off.
Mike with the 10.
And Mike right on target to start off this match. We'll see what these 2 have in mind for an encore after that bronze medal match. And both appear to be dialed in.
They're in the same spot. 10.
Mike very calm this afternoon. Had lunch. We didn't even talk about archery or the match.
10.
Talked about the new house that he and his girlfriend are putting together in the Netherlands.
Are there any
In fact, we talked about interior design about as much as anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's he going for?
I think the artsy craftsy kind of look.
Or is he leaving that to his girlfriend?
I think she might have a few things to say about it. Right now, both of these guys have a lot to say about it. Both of them perfect through the first 3 arrows. 10, 10, 10 for both Stefan Hansen and Mike Schlosser. So a sign of things to come as you take a look at Stefan Hansen, world champion, reigning world champion.
Bit of an Iceman when it comes to competition.
Not a bad thing.
No.
Good thing.
And Mike's a cool customer as well.
Mike's had a better qualification round.
They're both very young archers, but they seem to have been around forever.
That is the truth. Mike's 20. I asked him at lunch, are you 22 still? No, 23.
And he's done so much in that short space of time.
These two have gone head-to-head 7 times over the last 3 years. Steph has won 6 of those meetings, but 3 of them have gone to a shoot-off.
I can relate to that.
So this is a good rivalry.
It is, and it's one that's going to last for a few years, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Both of them young, both of them incredibly talented.
Both of them taken, you know,
10 extra.
we used to see the USA archers in the medal matches all the time, but now you see these two guys, you know, bringing Europe through.
10 extra.
Obviously, Stefan is learning off Martin Damsmo in the Netherlands, his teammate, his friend.
Good man to learn from.
Definitely.
One of the greatest sportsmen I've had the pleasure of covering in my career.
Yeah, amazing
10
sportsman.
points.
It's interesting, we were looking at Braden Galantine in the coach's box in that previous match, and I always think when I see Braden and I see Martin Damsbo together, I think of that match in Antalya a couple of years ago. Braden's bow breaks.
Yep.
I think the bowstring broke, and Martin reached in, gave him his backup bow. They went on, shot the match. Martin, of course, knew that the bow wasn't set up for Braden, but still.
So did Braden know that, but you know, he is a true sportsman. One of the nicest guys you'll meet on the circuit, always ready to help anyone.
A great friend to everybody in this sport. And right now, doing a great job working with Stefan Hansen. He's doing a pretty good job all on his own right now. He hasn't missed. Mike Schlosser hasn't missed.
This could get boring.
No. I'm just so fascinated to see if and when anybody's going to blink. Wouldn't it be great if they both shot 150s when we went to a shoot-off? Although that almost doesn't seem fair, does it?
It doesn't, because then you lose on. And I've seen it happen to Mike before, where he shot perfect and then he shot a 10 with his shoot-off arrow and he's lost, and you kind of feel cheated.
I can see your point. So we're tied up 60 all. Nobody's missed. Gold medal match. Schlosser.
9 points.
I jinxed you, Mike. I'm sorry.
I think his sight pin was sat.
Dead center.
Stefan's right. I think Mike's sight pin must have been sat at the bottom of the 9 when it went off.
They're going to have to change that target face, aren't they?
It's looking...
Yeah. A little ragged.
It is.
Stefan Hansen just wearing out the center of his target. And as I say that, I jinx him. So I'll be quiet.
No, that's fair now. You've jinxed them both.
Okay, we're even. All right. I'm an equal opportunity jinx, curse, whatever. Okay, so a 10 ties it up, and we're tied again. So each blinked, but no real harm was done, actually.
No, and maybe Stefan tried a little harder on his shot, just because he knew he had the opportunity to take a lead, and that can lead to a little bit of tension, which in turn leads to you missing the 10.
Not by much. Not by much. Stefan Hansen was the man who won the gold medal in Shanghai at stage 1. Pierre-Julien Deloche getting the silver medal in China. And then what seems like just yesterday in Turkey, It was Chen Shunswan of Chinese Taipei who upended Steve Anderson of the United States in the gold medal match. Chinese Taipei taking gold in Turkey, the USA the silver. Here will be either Denmark or the Netherlands. And Stefan Hansen going for a second individual gold medal in this 2017 Outdoor World Archery World Cup season.
Ooh, we've got some wind on the field then. You can see Mike move. But he held strong.
Like a rock.
Well, his bow is pretty weighty if you look at the amount of weight that Mike shoots on his stabilizers.
I was asking him about, are you still drawing 60? And he goes, no, I'm back to about 55, 56. He plays around with it, trying to figure out what the optimal draw weight really is for him.
Yeah, and you have to play about because you need to tune your arrows in.
Slight miss by Stefan Hansen. Schlusser with the lead, but he may have given it back if Stefan Hansen can take advantage.
Yeah.
He's been given an opportunity, and he usually doesn't let those go by the wayside. 118 all. We have seen some outstanding performances and some tremendous matches. There hasn't been a dull match all day.
No, not at all, and that's great for the sport. It's great for the Eastern Centre, for all the work they've put in the past couple of years to get this up and running. To have a finals as good as this is a dream.
And to have people shoot the way they are shooting. Mike Schlosser, Stefan Hansen, Richard Deaton, Rodolfo Gonzalez, Sara Lopez, Song Young Soo. The list goes on and on.
It does indeed. We've got pretty good, as I said, today I think is the best conditions we've had on this field all week.
Really?
Yeah. The wind has definitely picked up throughout the day usually, and in the afternoons has become quite choppy and quite difficult for the athletes.
As the shadows start to grow, we are heading towards the final 3 arrows. What could be the final 3 arrows? We may need a fourth. we may. Schlesser. Straight on. Coming out of the shadows, Stefan Hansen just ripping the center of that target apart.
He is indeed.
Wearing it out.
9.
It could cost him.
You heard the crowd ooh then.
It could cost him.
10.
As Hansen moves ahead by 1 with only 1 to go. Mike has got to forget about that previous shot. He does. And now his fate rests in the hands of Stefan Hansen. And fate smiles on Mike Schlesser, and it's frowning on Stefan Hansen. Can you believe this? Another shoot-off.
To be honest, it's probably a fitting way for this match to end.
Who wants to see a shoot-off?
Everybody wants to see a shoot-off except for Stefan Hansen and Mike Schlesser. They would, I'm sure, each have preferred to settle this in regulation play, but
I'm sure they would, but I think Mike's quite happy that it's shoot-off now.
oh, he is. He's absolutely thrilled because it was out of his hands.
He's picked his best arrow now.
You got to get the right arrow. He plays around with his bows too. I guess everybody really does. Mike says, you know, if I won with a certain bow, I'll stick with it, and then if I lose, I'll change to another one.
Last year in Shanghai, I watched Mike shoot the world record, and on the first half of that qualifying, where he got the world record, he was shooting both bows, alternate ends.
So the 717 was with 2 bows. I guess whatever works.
Well, that was the first half of qualifying, and then he went to the bow that hadn't missed because he missed 1 in the first half, and he stuck with it. And I looked at the setups, and the stabilization setups weren't the same, so it would have been a completely different feel every single time he took the bow to the line.
Golfers change clubs,
I know.
change swings, archers, bows, arrows, draw weight, stabilizers. There are so many factors involved. Mike Schlusser, who qualified third this week with a 7:03. Stefan Hansen qualified fifth with a 6:99.
Who's your money on, Carl?
My money is on, let's see. Can I tell you in about a minute?
Sure.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a great shot.
It's over. Mike Schlusser has won it in a shoot-off. Mike Schlusser, the winner, with the arrow that was closer to the center. He went first. He was able to put his shot up. And you know, I was tempted during lunch today with Mike to say, Mike, you know, you shot so well for so long in so many different events. But what happens when you get on this stage in the finals? And I just resisted the temptation. I didn't want to talk with him about that, and he didn't bring it up. And he was so calm about everything. Took a phone call from his girlfriend over in the Netherlands. And, you know, I was really impressed with his mindset as he approached this match today. He wasn't nervous. I couldn't sense any nerves on his part.
I think Mike's had a few issues in the past in medal matches, and he's worked hard to get through that, and it's good to see both of these archers shoot the level that they're capable of in front of everybody.
And I know it's something that Ron Vanderhoff, his coach, has worked with Mike on, trying to get over the mental hump, whatever it might be, if in fact there really is one.
Do you know what? It'll be something very small that's happened while he's out on stage, or something that's just unsettled him a bit, and then, you know, he'll go to the next shoot, and qualifying and going through the rounds is just a matter of course, and then suddenly you get to the finals field again, and the added pressure, and obviously the added attention that he gets because of his success.
And sometimes that success comes back to him as more pressure, because when you do set a world record, you shoot 7:17 in qualify. That gets a lot of people's attention, and it earns you the nickname of Mr. Perfect, which I think carries a lot of weight with it.
Yeah.
It's nice, and it's good for the sport, and I don't think Mike minds it that much. But
he's a very quiet guy, Mike. You know, he's yeah, he's a quiet guy. He's not one of these people that's jumping around, and yeah, and it's nice to see him succeed, because he puts a lot of hours in. He travels an awful lot, and it must take it out of you.
I asked him what he was going to do after Salt Lake City. He said, we've got a month, almost a month and a half. I'm going to go home. I'm going to rest. I'm going to practice. I think he and the girlfriend are going to work on the design of the new kitchen and the new digs, and be a good mental break for him. I'm sure for everybody it's going to be a nice break, because it's been bang, 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 one stage after another these first 4 or 5 weeks.
Yep, and yeah, he gets a break till Berlin, and then he'll be getting himself ready. It's a long season this season, because the World Championships aren't till October. And again, that's over in Mexico, where his girlfriend's from.
Yes.
So
she'll get to go home, hopefully. So now we get set for the presentation of the medals. Korea on the podium for the third time in team competition this morning. The Korean women and the Korean men, I should say, came away with gold medals in their respective competition. And now Korea back on the podium, this time accepting the bronze medal, So Chae-won and Kim Jung-ho. Those two combining to defeat Italy in their match, in the bronze medal match for mixed teams. Yes, indeed, it is, as I suspected, saltwater taffy.
What is saltwater taffy?
Saltwater taffy is a candy, a soft candy that it's not just here in Salt Lake City. They also sell saltwater taffy, I think, in other places on the seashore and the coast of the United States. It's chewy, it's gooey, it's sweet, and I can't have it. But if you're young and you can afford the calories, yeah. And I think Rodolfo Gonzalez can certainly enjoy some saltwater taffy along with his bronze or silver medal. And a great day for Linda Ochoa Anderson, as Mexico accepts the silver medal along with the taffy from Greg Easton, the World Archery Executive Board member, and of course the man who heads up the Easton Foundation here in Salt Lake City, as Sara Lopez and Daniel Munoz ascend to the top of the victory podium. With the iconic arch behind them from the beautiful Red Rock country of southern Utah.
Almost looks real behind them.
Oh, it is. It is. I was joking with Steve Anderson this morning about how great it would be if we could shoot a final there or a stage there and be able to shoot through the arch. But then I thought the National Park Service probably would not approve of that. That is, that's millions of years in the making.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen,
For those of you who have not been to Utah, a beautiful state to visit. The gold medal for Colombia. And of course, we have such great fond memories of Colombia, the 4 years that Medellin staged, I believe it was the third stage for the most part on the World Cup circuit. And we had wonderful times down there, and hopefully we'll be back down to Colombia in the not too distant future. A beautiful, beautiful country.
One I haven't visited yet. So.
Oh, you have to. It is stunning.
On the bucket list.
You might want to get there a little sooner. And a country that produces tremendous archers. Daniel Munoz, Sara Lopez, Alejandra Usquiano, Maya Marcen, many great friends down there in Colombia. And we hope to see you again soon. Now, while we've got a moment, I've got to get something cleared up here. I was looking at your biography on worldarchery.org, and it mentioned something about being a diva, and that your hobbies are shark wrestling and skydiving. Am I to believe this? What I read?
I can be a diva.
Oh, okay.
Well,
so
that's
nickname?
what George calls me.
Oh, so George refers to you as the diva.
He does.
Okay, but lovingly. Affectionately. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not really a diva.
No, I don't sense that. That's why I was kind of...
I just thought I'd have a bit of fun. We got given a questionnaire, and it was just like, I just wanted to sound more interesting than I actually am.
Yeah, you had to do that. So shark wrestling, you sure shark wrestling is out? It's on the bucket list.
It's on the bucket list. I haven't skydived yet. I've scuba dived, so...
You may be shark wrestling soon. All right, let's get back to business now. The competition, or I should say the compound women's medal presentation, as the Cowgirls lead them out to the podium.
They're very sparkly.
Very sparkly, yes. Not everybody in the West dresses quite like that.
Are you sure?
Yes. Yes. Have you been to the rodeo yet?
No, I haven't.
You've not been to the rodeo?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry you're leaving so soon.
I know.
We'd find you a rodeo. Maybe take Tom Dieland, the Secretary General, along with us.
Last time I was in Ogden, I saw my first ever baseball game.
Ah.
And I loved it. It was
Really?
good fun. Yeah, I
Oh,
loved
I
it.
would have thought cricket was your game.
Yeah, I like cricket as well and rugby.
Okay, cricket, rugby, and now American baseball.
Bronze medal representing Colombia, Sara Lopez.
This is an interesting podium right here. Sara Lopez very gladly and very happily accepting her bronze medal. And it's back-to-back bronze medals. Antalya and Salt Lake City now. Started off the season with a gold medal. But she also knows, as you said before, she's picking up points.
Yeah, and I
she's
think
a lock.
Yeah, she's locked in as well as Sarah. So, you know, they've done the job that they've set out to do, make that finals, and that's the one you want to win.
And right now, Sara Lopez appears to be a lock as she stands on the podium as the gold medalist. Seems just as interested in that saltwater taffy as
Silver medal
that check in her
representing
hands.
Denmark,
I know.
Sara
I'm telling
Lopez.
you, saltwater taffy.
You're gonna have to try and find some at the airport.
Yes, you know, it's easy to find. Sarah Sonicson, it wasn't easy to find that center ring at the beginning of her gold medal match, but then she warmed up, she got going. She really showed what she's made of. She is tough. She toughed it out. She suffered this week. She was not 100% physically. She was ill, but she still gets the silver.
And it's probably a culmination of three, or the third World Cup, being all so close together. You know, 2 long haul flights, one to Shanghai, one to here, you know, a trip to Turkey, aircon, heat, and your body just says enough.
All the
Gold medal
qualifying, all the
representing
eliminations,
Spain,
all the
Andrea
matches,
Marcos.
and all the things you just mentioned. Different diet, different sleep pattern, jet lag. But take nothing away from Andrea Marcos, who came here and did an outstanding job this week. And as the result, she gets to stand atop the podium for the second time in her career.
Yeah, and it's lovely to see, because she fought hard through those elimination rounds to get to this point, and to see such a match coming down to the last arrow. So the finals today have been some of the best that I've seen.
It has been outstanding, and Andrea Marcos, one of the great memories that we'll take away from Compound Saturday at Stage 3 in Salt Lake City. Andrea doing Spain proud.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm
The
round of
other thing to
applause our
consider is
athletes.
the fact that she also won 25 points here today, so that probably puts her in contention, just on the basis of this victory, puts her in contention for a spot at the World Cup final in Rome.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how many archers travel to Berlin, because sometimes what you find is those people that are not in contention, the federations don't send them to try and save money, to maybe look at funding next year. So the opportunities could be there for her.
So Andrea Marcos probably looking at Berlin as the way for her to solidify her spot at the World Cup final in Rome, which we will carry for you, as well as Stage 4 in Berlin, which is coming up in, about 6 weeks from now. Good break for the archers after hitting Shanghai in May, getting to Antalya, Turkey about 2 weeks later, and then 2 weeks later we're here in Salt Lake City, and that is a lot of ground to cover. and a lot of arrows that have been shot. And of course, it all ends up outdoors with the World Championships in Mexico City, which did a splendid job, I thought, of hosting the World Championships a few years ago.
Yeah, I mean, they know how to, and they have the archers as well to keep everybody interested. So, and that's important for the countries hosting this, that they've got competitive archers, because it draws in the crowds and makes it a better experience for everyone.
And the crowds did come out in Mexico City. It was well supported, and the stands virtually packed almost every session. And we saw some outstanding archery then. I'm sure we'll see it again this fall, as we now get set for the presentation of the medals to the gentlemen who entertained us. Bruce Cull, the National Field Archery Association president, on hand, along with Mark Pizzoni, Easton's Technical Products president, and a couple of good old-fashioned Utah cowgirls. Well, you know, you never know who you're going to see here at a stage. I mean, I could swear I saw Andreas Lorenz. Did I, or is it just a vision?
No, he's here in real.
And look at him.
He's looking good.
He's looking almost as good as Bridger Deaton.
Better, I'd say.
All we need is to give Andreas a bronze medal, and he'll look almost as good as Bridger Deaton. Bridger looks very good with that bronze medal around his neck.
He's my favorite, by the way.
Bridger or Andreas?
No, Andreas.
Oh, Andreas. Everybody. He's loved around the world. Korean archers, Polish archers, doesn't matter. He is a man of the world. Maybe the world's most interesting man.
Maybe.
We're pouring it on a little bit right now as they continue to pour on the rewards, the fruit of his labor. Bridger Deaton, who survived what could have been a disastrous fourth end and somehow managed to force a shoot-off and won it with a brilliant shot in the shoot-off.
He did.
Stefan Hansen went to a shoot-off as well against his rival, Mike Schlosser of the Netherlands. And this was one of the few times that Stefan came up short. We said that over the last 3 years, Stefan and Mike had gone head-to-head 7 times. Stefan had won 6 of those previous meetings. 3 of them had gone to a shoot-off. Wouldn't you know it, today went to a shoot-off again.
Unlucky.
Yes, and this time the God smiled on Mike Schlosser. But there's some consolation there for Stefan, who picks up 21 World Cup points for his efforts.
He does, and he'll be looking to defend his world title this year in Mexico. But this man will be hot on his heels trying to take that title away from him.
He absolutely will. Mike Schlosser of the Netherlands. This time atop the podium. A great moment for that young man as he comes away with the gold medal here in Salt Lake City, Utah. Great accomplishment, great achievement, and a great memory for him.
A bit more money for his house.
Exactly. Exactly. Granite countertops, I can see them now.
Thing is, he'll never be there.
No, this is true. Well, the house is not for him. Schlosser the gold, Stefan Hansen the silver, and Bridger Deaton of the United States the bronze medal. your 3 medalists here in men's compound competition at stage 3 of the Archery World Cup Tour. You know, the interesting thing is, and I've left this out, the story about the new home that Mike is putting together back there in the Netherlands. You know what he's most excited about?
No, go on.
The shooting range that he's got in his backyard.
Of course he is.
He is
all of them
so
are.
excited.
I remember Rio building his house, and he had on Facebook, he had a blow-by-blow account of his shooting range. It's almost as though they have to go bigger and better.
You mean you don't have a shooting range at your flat?
No, I have one in my conservatory that's about 5 meters. But Mikey's going to have a full-blown 50-meter shooting range.
Oh, yes. No, he's got that. That's all mapped out, and that's all put together. Well, it's been a great day here in Salt Lake City. We want to thank our great sponsors, Hyundai, Fila, Sport Toto, Longines, and Easton. And congratulations to all who medaled and to all who came and competed. Now we'll look forward to seeing what happens tomorrow, Recurve Sunday. Shanghai Jin and Tanya Ting center stage. And in the men's marquee matchup, it'll be Im versus Kim. Korea's Im Dong-young facing his teammate Kim Woo-jin. Those are just a few of the great names gearing up for Recurve Sunday in Salt Lake, stage 3 of the 2017 Hyundai World Archery World Cup Tour. Till then, for Andrea Gales, World Archery, and our entire crew, thanks for your time this time. Till next time, good morning, good afternoon, or good night from Salt Lake City, Utah.
Wow.